So I finished The Way of the Househusband, and I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. This is probably the most unexpectedly enjoyable anime I have watched so far. From all the images and bits of footage I saw, I was worried this was gonna be a dumpster fire on par with X-Arm. Thankfully, I can now say I was very much mistaken, and for me to even compare it to that sorry excuse of an anime is a sin now punishable by death. With that said, before I get into the stuff I like about the show, I should probably address the main issue that some people may have with it. The animation.
What's wrong with your face?
There's this poorly written article at Bleeding Cool where they talk about how bad the animation is, and I'm sorry, Bleeding Cool, but you're subjecting yourself to CBR articles of idiocy right now. The main reason the animation is like this is because the people who made this anime wanted to tell the story in a different way, not because they weren't actually trying. They went for a more manga paneled style, and for the most part I think its simplicity adds to the comedy. It reminds me a lot of the Watchmen motion comic, where the visuals effectively tell the story even if they are a bit simple, as opposed to something like X-Arm, where the animation consistently distracts the viewers from the story unfolding. Overall, while the visuals are a bit simple and PowerPoint presentation-esque, I get what the creators are going for, and it does fit with the tone and feel of the series well. Anyways, now with that out of the way, let's talk about what I like about the show. Easily the most notable and likable aspect of the show is definitely the comedy. The jokes in this show are just so good, and honestly, this is probably the funniest anime I've ever watched. A lot of the jokes in the show relate to the titular house husband Tatsu. His over-the-top manner drives a lot of the comedy, and it surprisingly never gets tired to listen to. Because he's a former Yakuza member, it makes sense that he wouldn't have the best social skills, and seeing Tatsu interact with everyday people and activities with such intensity are easily the best parts of the show, and that's for most of the show, so chances are you're going to laugh at least a couple of times. Him also being a kind-hearted, supportive guy with a really intense exterior is just really entertaining, especially considering how well his chemistry works with other characters like his wife Miku and former underling Masa. Seeing everyone's different dynamic and contrasting energies collide with each other in different situations is just so fun to watch. The best part of all is that the comedy can be really unpredictable and can catch you off guard in a way you might not expect. In one short episode, you might have just a wholesome slice-of-life story with Tatsu and Miko just chilling and doing normal stuff. In another, you get a story about the police trying to bust Tatsu for a suspected drug operation.
Cocaine.
You never entirely know what you're gonna get in these shorts, but that's definitely the most entertaining part of it. A lot of the credit goes to the voice actors, who perfectly fit the role of their characters' personalities. Without these guys, I might have actually gotten tired of the art style, because by itself, I think it tells the story effectively, but without proper voice actors, it can become more noticeable and a whole lot more tiresome to look at. But these people seem like they're having the time of their life voicing these characters, and the amount of energy on display helps keep you invested. Everyone is doing a great job, and the dub and sub voice actors for Tatsu are definitely the standout. Along with this, it's also surprisingly wholesome. I really like the dynamic that Tatsu and Miko have together. Them interacting in certain situations with them helping balance out the flaws they both have. It's just really sweet, and I'm glad we can get that in a show like this. Which leads me to the last point of why I like the show: the minimal storytelling and structure. Unlike a lot of the anime I watch, this one is different in that there's no main important story going on. Rather, it's a collection of short stories and a collection of short episodes. It's just little skits of Tatsu's life, and I think it's effective and does not waste your time. Even with anime that don't have large overarching narratives like Tonikawa, you still might need to watch episodes prior in order to understand what's going on. Now, this isn't to say you wouldn't like an anime like Tonikawa. I've watched it and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. But with these, you can really watch any episode you want in any respective order, and it wouldn't change all that much. It also helps that the episodes themselves are only 16 to 18 minutes long, and there are 5 of them, so you can really binge the show rather quickly. Overall, I think this show is honestly a real nice surprise that I was not expecting. It's funny, it's wholesome, it's short, and it's easy to get into. In general, if you just want to sit back and watch some very enjoyable entertainment without having to worry about an overarching story, I would highly recommend this. The animation might be a bit off-putting at first, but once the show gets rolling, chances are you'll get used to it and come to enjoy it as I have. Now, with all that done, I'm going to give The Way of the Househusband a surprising A-.